up, everybody? This is Case Study QB, and we are in the pre-show. Yeah, back at it with my peoples. All right, what's going on, fellas?
What's up? What's up? Yo, is it only just me, or does the animation show up black for anybody else?
Does the what show black?
The animation is like for some reason they only show black for me. I don't see the actual animations themselves.
No, yeah, that's you, brother, man.
I just use Edge. I don't even know. I'm just on the browser.
All right, so I'm gonna start off with our PJ Armani up in here with a brand new ad that she just released.
We are struggling. Let's cut right to it. For too many New Jersey politicians, it's not about the people. It's about the power and the Benjamins. And while they're grubbing for campaign cash from special interests, we are struggling to afford a tank of gas or sky-high rent. I'm running for Congress to make a point. We're done with machine politics. Done waiting for health care, pleading for affordable housing, hoping for justice. I'm Imani Oakley, and I approve this message. Here's my promise to you. Send me to Washington, and they'll get the point.
Yeah, I like that. That's fire.
Yeah.
We got the echo back.
Oh, yeah. Wait, we did get the echo back?
Yeah.
Not right now, though. Not right now, right?
No, only when you were showing the video.
All right.
Now, the question is, does she actually fence, or was it all for the ad?
Well, she says it in her tweet. She said, I used to be a fencer. I'll bring the same fighting spirit to Washington. So she's not a fake.
Nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Man, you know, she should challenge Payne to a duel.
You would win. All we ask for is a debate. Like, at the very least, can we have a debate? And he can't do that. So
come on, he went to the Pelosi school.
Yeah, exactly. With the Pelosi school of debates of being absent.
Wait, they're not debating?
Not that I know of. I think, and I would have known if he did debate. So this one is for Izzy.
Over here. He's not debating.
Izzy, what's going on in New York, baby?
Met Council action endorses. I'm just seeing this for the first time. Okay.
Yeah. So we got Jamani Williams and his lieutenant governor, and these are some other, I guess, progressive people that's going to be at the state level in New York. And I haven't heard too much about Jamani. How? Give me the word on the street over there in New York City.
Yeah, I mean, I receive emails from him, but outside of that, like, I don't really see much coverage about it. I've seen a few Kathy Hochul commercials, just because she has the money to spend on that.
Yeah.
But otherwise, yeah, I haven't heard too much. I don't know what polling is like right now. I don't know. Have you heard anything?
No, I haven't. I'm not at all. So maybe I haven't been aware of it, but.
So it's not looking good, pretty much.
We're pushing for him. You know, like, I hope he's a big name in New York, at least in New York City.
True.
You know,
that is true in New York City.
He is.
But we need, outside of New York, upstate New York, Buffalo and Rochester, and all these different places. He needs to, he did go when in the mayor of Buffalo race with India Walton. He did go up there to help her campaign, but of course we know famously she lost, unfortunately. But that would have been great to have a Democratic Socialist up there, probably helping him campaign.
And who was the guy that won the mayor's race in Buffalo? Wasn't it somebody that
incumbent?
Right.
The person that was there before.
Oh, I thought it was I thought it was somebody was that was considered Democratic Socialist, but I don't know.
Oh no! It was the corrupt Democrat that he ran after he lost the Democratic primary.
Right.
He did a write-in campaign, and he won. Like, the rarest thing. But he got help from Republicans. He got help from a lot of establishment, big money.
Oh, but did she win the primary? Is that what happened? And then he beat her. That's what happened. Okay, that's what I remember. I got you.
That's exactly what happened.
Yep. Not cute.
So we might as well throw this video up there. Wait, is it time?
Almost.
Is it time? All right, let's start the show early. Yeah, what's up, everybody? This is K Steady QB, and we are the political junkies back at it again, up in the building. Another week, got a lot to discuss. I'm looking forward to this show with my peoples. We're gonna have a lot of fun. All right, let me go around the horn. Carlito, how you doing, my man?
Man, I'll tell you a real quick story. I went to work.
Go ahead.
Why did I get stuck in the parking lot for 45 minutes on the way back home? Because when I got in the morning, the gate was up. I had to park in like visitors. The gate was up, so it wouldn't give me a ticket. Later in the day, the attendant just put a ticket on my window. I got it, couldn't get validated. Then when I tried to get out, it said invalid ticket. I push the button for help. I tell them the story let me check on it. Then they go away. It happened 3 times. I call a phone number on there. I get voicemail. Finally, somebody from me called an attendant to come from another parking lot 10 minutes away to let me out. Yo, somebody's gonna give me free parking for the rest of the year.
Oh, is that how it's gonna work?
The question is, why are you in visitors?
Because I don't go to the office every day, so it's cheaper for them to just validate for a day than to pay for a whole month.
Allegedly.
Yeah, but then the worst part is, traffic in Atlanta. Every minute after like 3:30 that I'm late, that's like an extra 2 minutes of traffic.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, big pun. How you doing, my man?
What's up, Case? What's going on, fellas? How's everybody?
Yeah. Good. Bendone.
Let's get it.
Let's get it, Izzy.
What's up? Happy to be back.
Yeah, we missed you last week. John, are you still having technical difficulties, or are you all right?
I don't know. We'll find out.
Oh, nah, you feel it's a little bit. We'll work with it. Izzy, I had to channel you last week with the Yankees Red Sox feud. I had to, rag on John a little bit for. I don't know what they're doing right now, but I know last.
Oh my God! Right now the feud is definitely in our favor. We'll see how long that lasts for, but the standings right now look beautiful.
Yeah.
Look, Glaber hit a little league home run. That's what I heard.
Yeah, World Series are won in May.
See, that's what always happens.
All right, we might hear echo again, but I'm gonna play this video of our guy Christian Smalls. Let me bring it up. And I think, I'm not gonna play this one. Second, guys. Where is it at? Yeah, here we go. Let me play this video.
Has content. Well, I can tell you, we're going nationwide. Every building in the country has contacted us already, and we're going to continue with that plan to get everybody in the country set up.
You're saying every Amazon warehouse in the country has contacted you about the prospect of unionizing?
Every Amazon facility in the country, and then some, has contacted the Amazon Labor Union. And we will have a conference that will address everybody nationwide.
All right.
Look how scared.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
She is scared. They're like, wait. Everybody contacted you? Oh my God.
Like, you sure? You sure? For real?
Dipset. That's
Did you say everyone? Everyone.
I got one more video, and then we're gonna discuss. This is Chris Smalls going to the White House. Started over.
I can't organize this group. When I ran for president, I made a commitment that I'd be the most pro-labor president, union president in the history of America. And I've followed through on that so far. And this is something that the Vice President and I have thought about from the very beginning.
Everybody around the world is going to know, if they don't already, that you're at the White House right now, sitting next to the President of the United States.
Absolutely.
It's a big signal and sending.
Everybody.
Yo, who's the dude next to Smalls? That dude was cheesing too hard at Biden. That might be a plant right there.
Let me see if I can. I'm gonna bring it back up. I don't know who that person is.
Yeah, when Biden was the most hated president, he was like,
"Oh, this guy." Wait,
No,
this guy?
That dude?
Yeah.
That dude.
This dude?
Yeah, him.
Yeah, that's a good.
Smiling a little bit too hard.
I think he's with the Starbucks. He got like I think the Starbucks shirt.
Yeah, he was not too hard.
United.
He might be a plant.
Yo, Izzy, why are you so sad? You don't want him sitting next to Biden?
Yo, but all they're trying to do is make it sound like he should be so grateful that he's getting this promotion from the White House. Like, they're using it as a photo op for themselves. I know a lot of people gave AOC crap saying that, she needed Smalls more than he needed her. But I mean, that's exactly what it seems like in this clip. Like, it really seems like Biden and Kamala are just trying to take advantage of the promotion.
Yeah. Before I go to the next video, I want to give a shout out to our chat. I didn't even see the chat. I gotta bring up the chat. We got Miguel H is in the building. Aeon, Miguel H, PJ Holly's here. Well, Pergam, what's up, buddy? All for nothing. What's going on? And everybody else in the chat. PJ Chris is in the chat as well. Let me know if I missed anybody. But much love to everybody in the chat. Izzy, go ahead.
So yeah, I just to me it seems like more of a photo opportunity for them than it was for Chris Smalls. Chris Smalls is doing great with or without them. The dude is super inspirational. His story is incredible. I mean, just keep up the great work.
But I must say, it does mean something to go to the White House, because guess what? The Starbucks released a letter, and I don't know if it came from Schultz, the CEO himself, but they were like, "Oh, it's not fair." Basically, they're crying. It's not fair that the White House had these workers, these Starbucks workers representatives there without someone officially from Starbucks being in the building. Even though we know they are always represented,
Always. I mean, who do you think funds all these freaking politicians? Just
exactly. Matter of fact, one of the things Biden said to Chris Smalls was like, "Hey, you got me in trouble," because remember he said, "Amazon, we're coming for you," or something like that. He said into the mic. Right. But my thing is, dude, you are the man. You are the president. How are you getting in trouble? How are you in the doghouse with corporations? You know what I'm saying?
By Chris Smalls.
They cut the video. I thought he was going to pound him up like Roger Goodell and a guy who just got drafted.
And then he looks into the camera like, "If you don't like this clip, you're not black."
I know, right? Exactly. So this video is going to show exactly why Izzy is mad and why I agree with Izzy. Let me play this video.
The vice president were there, I think, speaking with them at the White House. I think the president popped in too, according to Chris Smalls. He tweeted about it. He, of course, as you know, is the guy who kind of led that whole union effort at the Staten Island Amazon warehouse. Secretary Walsh, Amazon has been a recipient of some big federal contracts, as you know. Something senators like Bernie Sanders, some labor leaders have said should end. For a White House that says they back unions and are pro-unions, should you be awarding federal money to a company that is perceived as anti-union in this moment?
I don't think we need to go there right now. What I think we need to do right now is encourage Amazon and Starbucks and other big companies in America that workers have taken a vote to organize and ask them to come to the table and sit down and work out an agreement with them. These are workers that work in an Amazon warehouse. These are workers that are working in Starbucks and some other industries that were in my office today. Quite honestly, their employees have decided that they want to join a union, and they should respect the right of their employees. And what they should do right now, instead of trying to break the union, is sit down with these workers and try and come up with an agreement to move forward. And I would encourage all these companies to do that because we're not at the point right now, I don't think, where we need to take any other action. It's really encouraging both sides to sit down.
Okay, so I hear you when you say you're not at the point yet where you'd want to cut off federal contracts.
Boo this man. All right, real quick, before you guys respond, give a shout out to the Love Always and Joy to the World. I always see you, Joy, on Twitter. So much love to you when you like the clips that I sent out. So much love. Thank you for joining us in the chat. Yeah. So
and I want to give a quick shout out to their comment because they said, put this in any other context. You go to meet with someone and they take the time to tell you how lucky you are to meet them. What the hell, right? Like, I mean, that's exactly what they made it seem like. So that's a great point.
Excellent point. But
you gotta go at first.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree.
The point is he's trying to make is the weakness of the White House, right? So let me I'm gonna bring back up the tweet real quick and just show what he said. Right? He said, "I don't think we need to go there right now as far as putting pressure on Amazon and not giving them the contract." said we need to encourage Amazon right now and ask them to come to the table. Like, come on, you're the president of the United States. Go ahead.
Right. So you know they're not about it. So that's why you go to the meeting. I mean, it is the president. They're gonna say what they're gonna say, but that's where you take the opportunity to tell them, hey, we got this far without you. You could be on the right side of history, the wrong one. We're gonna keep going with or without you. Jump on board, and you make your case there. You know, you have to meet them at least the first time. If they go and they try to tell you to water down or slow down, don't do it. Then you're like, okay, thanks, peace out. We don't need to meet again.
But you notice now, once that they say anything about the great work that he's doing, nothing. They're saying you're so fortunate to be here in front of us, and you know, I made this campaign promise that I'm definitely not holding up right now. I mean, that's basically the two comments that we saw in that clip. At no point where they're like, "You're doing great work, keep it up. We're fighting beside you. We want to help." You know, nothing like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
actions speak louder than words.
Yeah, I mean, just saying that is bad enough, you know, to undermine anything else they might say. They might have said it, but we all know actions speak louder than words. So whatever they said in that meeting, it don't matter. They're not gonna actually force Amazon or pass the bills that they were trying to pass, where take away government contracts if they're anti-union. Or fine.
But they don't.
I think the president can do that unilaterally, though, right? By executive order.
It's very simple. They don't. All they have to say is you cannot go against union. If you do so, you will lose your contract. That's it. They could put that on any contract that they put out there.
And I was just listening. I believe it was Crystal Ball on Rising that said, not Rising, Breaking Points, that said that they just gave a contract. The CIA gave a contract to Amazon under,
NSA,
using their AWS.
NSA.
Exactly. Oh, the NSA. Thank you for the correction.
$10 billion.
That's what like their web services or whatever.
Exactly. So they just give them a contract that's worth a lot of money. They could have used Microsoft. They could have used any other place.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
Microsoft.
Not really. That's not really related to unions because that's like the web services or whatever. But they could use it as leverage.
Well, it's Amazon though. It is Amazon's, right? So, like you say, you could use that as leverage, right? So this is the thing.
I guess Carlito's point is like it's not the Amazon the business sales part of it where they they're fighting to unionize and they're working in warehouses. AWS is a whole different beat. Obviously I still boycott the hell out of Amazon, but I get where you're coming from, Carlito.
No, Carlito, I hear what you're saying, but it's the same as the parent company. Is my point.
Yeah.
You're putting pressure. That's the whole point. Now, my question to the panel now and to the chat is: this opening up a avenue for a serious progressive challenger to Joe Biden in 2024?
No, this does nothing. This is good for unions and workers, but this does nothing for Biden.
So, or somebody or a progressive candidate that will go against Biden. You're saying, right?
That's what I'm talking about. What Big Pun just said. So is this opening? So, for example, and I wanted to get to this later on, but this is bringing it up. Nina 2024. What you guys think?
Nina, what? As a primary challenger, sure.
As a primary challenge to Biden.
Yeah.
All right. So we might have a no cow zone over here. Impromptu no cow zone.
Why would she run? Wasn't that what Democratic ticket? She can't even win.
All right. No cancel zone. Let's go. Between Carlito and Big Pun. Big Pun, you
John
go first.
Said something like, what? She can't even win her seat, so what does it matter?
Am I still delayed?
No, you're good.
Okay. No, what I was saying is that why would she even bother to run in the Democratic Party? Like, if she would do it, if she does it independently, and she could take the Bernie crew to 30% or 15%, whatever it is right now, yeah, sure. But if she goes as a primary to Biden, that's just I don't know. I don't think there's.
Before we even go to independent talk, because John, I want to come back to that because I know Izzy's on the other side of that. Let's stick to like if she was going to run in the Democratic primary.
No, she can't even win her own seat in the Democratic Party.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so that's one argument.
But I always tell you, just primary everybody. I don't care who, primary everybody, because even if you're able to pull their cards out, at the very least, you put them on the corner. If they happen to debate, or even if they don't debate, and you put ads out, you could force them to make statements, put them to your side, or force them to defend, their action or statements from before. So yeah, definitely primary. I mean, she probably won't win, but it's good to have people pushing the candidate regardless.
She's gonna waste my time and her time.
It's good to see the representation. I don't think that any of this is going to change. I don't see it.
You don't think that she could do a serious challenge, Big Pun, to Biden as on a Democratic running in the Democratic primary? Let's say
okay. So let's talk about the big picture, right? The big picture would be who's here who's going to challenge Joe Biden, right? And then let's talk about those people, and then before we even add her to the mix, right? And to me, I don't know. I don't think so. Right now, I don't know. I don't know how to gauge that. I don't know where it's going. But I do not think that this is going to change her opportunity or her chances against the machine, in my opinion.
Hey, got you. So if she says, "Hey, I'm going to come out with executive orders to have anybody, any corporation that," Can you hear me?
Yeah.
He said that out loud now. What happened?
He's like case in his executive orders. That's No, that's his dream. That's his dream.
All right. So I'm getting the wrap up signal. All right, but you guys get where I'm going with you now. Wait, what's wrong with executive orders? Wait, hold on. Let's talk about
that's like your only go-to card. Like,
because we don't have a president that's doing it. And that's a tactic that a president can do by themselves.
Please don't be a campaign manager for anyone.
Listen, Biden said he was going to have secretary orders for student loans too, and look where we at.
Exactly. that was going to be my point. Like, you could run on executive orders all day, but when you get in there and you're not doing what you promised.
No, but Biden didn't say executive order. He said he was going to do it. That was his plan through Congress. Am I right or wrong?
I thought student loan debt.
The student loan debt, yes, the measly little $10,000.
I thought that was an executive order.
That was not. He never said the executive order. He never said. I mean, because they're still arguing if they could even do it. Period. You know what I'm saying? That's what the Biden administration is even.
The Biden administration said that they were going to give $10,000.
Yes, through the Congress. That's his plan.
No, he didn't say nothing to Congress.
Yes. Oh, you got to. Anybody in the chat can help us out.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter because Nina Turner, no matter how many executive orders she promises, she doesn't really got a shot.
All right, so let's go on to the next part of this argument. Independent running. Should Nina run as an independent? Izzy, let me get your opinion.
That's okay.
No, that's a guaranteed loss, and not just like a slight loss. That's a guaranteed pummeling. My point that I made in the chat was, she can't even win her own district with lots of money being involved in that race that she's raised against a candidate that I don't know what the breakdown was in this particular race, but I know in the last race she raised tons of money all on her own. She couldn't win that race. She couldn't win this race. Now you're talking about a race that she's going to have to go against mega donors, national, international race from both parties. She's going to be facing that battle against both parties. She has zero chance of winning that.
But she's not going to run as an independent to win. So she
has zero chance of even making a dent. In my opinion, she has zero chance of even making a slight dent.
I don't know. So I think she could take. I think she could take 50. I think she could take 20% of the vote.
No way. Not even.
I think so.
Has anybody taken that much?
Not since Ross Perot.
No,
not since Ross Perot. Probably.
Ross Perot didn't even did that.
And Perot was a billionaire, so we know we would need that type of money.
But for him to, again, I mean, let's say she's able to do that. What would be the point of that?
Just to spite the Democrats.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jimmy Dore said so.
She might be able to push Biden. She might be able to push Biden.
She may be able to push. She may be able to push that third party concept. If you could say, like someone to 15-20%. If you take
All right. Listen, that's a point that I will give you. That will be a good thing. But if the point would be just to make the Democrats lose, that's just dumb.
No.
I'm just saying that because if we all the time we argue about this, people keep saying, well, the Democrats and Republicans are the same party. What? They don't care if they lose then. So making them lose doesn't prove anything. Now, if it's to just to promote, a independent run, just so they could become more viable in the future, then yeah, cool. But if it's to actually try to win, or actually try, I mean, you always try to win, but if it's just to spite the Democrats, then that's not going to spite anybody.
All right, so I got a question for y'all. The Progressive Caucus PAC. Here's a tweet of them of doing their next endorsement. This was a couple of days ago, May 5th. Said, we're ready to elect a new class of bold progressives. I don't know any of these guys, but how much faith do you all have in the Progressive Caucus after they did not support Nina and supported centrists like not even Crayon, but like in the Nina Turner race, Chantel Brown?
Are you seriously asking that question?
I wish I had easy beep.
No, so yeah. All right, so it's official.
Easy, give me a beep.
The Progressive Caucus is trash, right? It's
listen, official. Whenever you talk about Progressive Caucus, I'm like,
we can't seriously be asking about their endorsements. I mean, come on.
Yeah, all I know is I came across this tweet, and I'm like, I don't know any of these people. You know, I
that speaks for itself.
And I'm like, I even asked around. I asked people who are running. I'm like, does anybody know these people? They're like,
oh, that's great. They back up people we don't know. That's awesome.
Yeah. Industry plants.
Freaking waste. All right. I think we're ready. What time is it? I think we could go to Carlito's rapid fire. You ready for me, my man?
I'm always ready.
Let's do it.
Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. All right, let's do it. Let's do this. First story. Let's get right to it. FDA restricts J&J's COVID vaccine because of blood clot risk. Officials say the shot should be given only to adults who cannot receive a different vaccine or who specifically request Johnson & Johnson. This is at NBC News, shared by the Associated Press. This is an AP story. So basically, they found that it's rare, but there are blood clots risk with the J&J vaccine, and people should just, stick to the Pfizer or Moderna. Now, the question that I will have is, does this give any credence to the haters of everything that has to do with vaccines, or is this, scientific process proving again that they find out all the good things? What you think about this case?
Perfect question, because that's exactly where I was going to go with it. And full disclosure, the J&J vaccine is the one I got, and the one my parents got. So it's definitely scary to see that, there's issues that came along with it all these months later that I got it. And thankfully nothing, knock on wood, I never experienced any side effects. But that is the question. Like, should there be mandation, if that's a word, mandating vaccines if apparently it's not fully vetted, is not fully tested?
Yeah. I mean, it is.
Wait, what does it mean to not be fully tested, though?
Meaning that it came out months later that there's an issue. They're saying to use the J&J at the very last resort.
Yeah. Well, they did have basically they've been promoting the other vaccines more from before. And the second thing is that they said it's rare, and if you got that condition, it'll be within the first 1 or 2 weeks of you getting the shot. So anybody that got it, they probably good. That's when any symptoms will arise.
And then the other thing also is that Germany and France, let me see if I could bring it up real quick. They had a advisory on the Moderna vaccine where they were saying for under 30 that they should be cautious about it. So this is Germany, and then there was another one from, is this it? No,
yeah. So if it's the Moderna, that's the whole thing about the heart thing. I forgot what it was called. But again, that one is like very rare, and it's that same condition. I don't remember the name of the condition. You're way more likely to get it if you don't get vaccinated than if you took the Moderna. If you catch COVID.
Yeah. So I'm glad that. Go ahead, Big Pun.
In defense of all of this in science, look, there's going to be a side effect to everything that's made to go ahead and help you, right? This has gotten a big press because I think it's because the blood clot issue and the whole thing. Bad news for J&J. Cause they're not, but because it's not obviously it's not a good thing. But again, it's still a small percentage of people that are being affected by this in the long run of all of this. So with science and everything that's developed, even if it's tested and retested and all that, there's still going to be something that affects people, and there's a certain amount of risk with all of this. So just this is a caveat, right? But again, I think that the thing here is that this is the one that only takes one shot and a few people got and blah 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 blah, and they're putting it out there like that. So
So I'm very glad and surprised that not surprised, but I'm glad that they came out with this information, because now I think it will make them look more trustworthy. Like, okay, at least now they're giving us the full story. But now the question that one poses: should vaccines be mandated if it even has 0.001%?
Yes.
Yeah. 100%.
There's no 100% foolproof vaccine.
Yeah, and
you die from the flu vaccine.
They all have been proven effective. Even at J&J, they all have been proven effective against COVID.
100% true. They have been effective to a certain level.
Should vaccine be mandated?
Yeah, because we already do it. I don't even know what you're talking about. We already do all kinds of vaccines mandate for military, for medical, for kids going to school.
But, but we see that as faulty. So let's not go with the traditional one. Let's talk about this one.
I don't think they should be mandated.
No.
This is where we get flagged.
I don't think they should be mandated.
Let's talk about a mandate is not law. Let's start with that, right? Even though it's mandated at whoever's job to go ahead and comply, there are still ways to circumvent that if it's not legal, if it's not law. So let's just say that, right? I can go ahead and I could file an EEO case at my job, right? And I can go ahead and go with different avenues with this. I could say that I have conditions that don't allow me to do this. I could say that I have mental anguish because I come from a country where vaccines don't give the greatest of history. So you could do a lot of things to get around all that, and you could circumvent a mandate.
But
so
there's people
law
against
is
that, like
right?
Carlito, you would be against that, right?
No.
Against mandates or against
the being able to circumvent the traditional mandates?
I'm against circumvention because that's kind of implies that you getting around it nefariously or whatever. But there are exceptions. Like some people have medical exceptions for vaccines. For some, they might be allergic or something like that. In some instances, I don't believe in whatever, but they have some religious exceptions, whatever. So there's legitimate reasons not to take them. But for the vast majority of people, I'm okay with being mandated, like in law.
Well, that's different. Well, that's a different thing. You're talking about making it legal. Like, so in other words, if, you can't come into this building or whatever unless you do this. That's it, right? I mean, you're talking about a law that's passed by everybody that everybody's going to that all these legislators are going to sign.
To go into like a restaurant, no. But I'm talking about for like enrolling your kids in school for things like that. Yes, but not just to go buy ice cream. You know what I mean?
It's interesting you mentioned school because in New York they're just having a controversy now where they're trying to figure out for graduation, because it's graduation time, whether or not the folks that are going to go ahead and attend graduation must show proof of at least one vaccination or not. Although they've taken it away from the actual participants, which are the kids. So the kids don't have to go ahead and meet that vaccination requirement, but their parents or friends or family have to have at least one vaccination, proof of one vaccination. So now they're trying to get rid of that. So that's what I'm saying. So then these are the things that eventually, like when we talk about these mandates, when we talk about all these things, the biggest problem that I have with all these things ultimately is that the consistency of what we do, right?
Yeah.
And I understand that with time and science, everything happens and changes because it's not March 2020 anymore. It's May 2022. Yeah. So we have to go ahead and change things to go ahead. But that's the issue, right? The issue is that there's people that are not going to be like, oh, I'm with that, or no, what are you doing? You're not deciding.
Whoa.
They've taken away the mask mandates in a lot of schools. Now the numbers are going up. So the situation is that eventually I think they're going to bring it back, and that's going to be a problem.
Right. And I think the main reason why we don't have consistency is because politicians try to cater to different, constituents instead of just following the science.
Science, I agree with that one.
100.
All right, let's move on to the. I think
one last thing though that Tom mentioned coming up, this new variant. In the video and the story, they mentioned we broke the 1 million death mark. We have a new variant. The last couple of weeks, we had eliminated mask mandates in a lot of places, and now the rates of infections double in the last 2 weeks or something like that. So it's gonna be an up and down. Like, oh, put a mask on. Man, just put them on and stop being baby.
Oh, but understand the numbers in the science. So the numbers of this infections are going up, right? And that we know, and infections are up, and cases of people being positive. However, number of deaths is not. So the thing is that's where they starting to, you know what I'm saying? Because the variant that they have is not as deadly. So that's the deal.
Yeah. So
but I get it.
And that the rate is not going up, but there's still people dying.
All right.
Well, people gonna die.
All right, let's move on to the
next one. All right. Let's get to the next one. This is from Common Dreams by Rachel Thrasher, Blake Alexander Simmons, and Kyla Tinhara. Treaties protecting fossil fuel investors threaten global efforts to save the climate and could cost countries billions. The threat of expensive payouts may already be having an effect. This is something, if you guys remember what's the name of the treaty that Obama was trying to pass with? Basically, companies are having nation states having contracts with nation states where if you put in laws that affects our profits, regardless of how it saves your people in your country, whatever, we're gonna sue you. You gotta pay us. Now, how could people have less rights than companies? Governments have less rights than companies nowadays. What's up with this, Izzy?
That's because it's all about the money. It's all about capitalism. #capitalism. Listen, I follow a lot of environmental news, and I was kind of shocked by this. I wasn't even aware that this is yet another way that these companies are going to complete.
Oh,
he broke his beeper.
He broke his mic. I can't hear you, Izzy.
Yo, he cursed so loud he broke his mic.
The whole time I've been talking on mute. Oh my god! I'm sorry, guys.
Oh, yeah. That blew you out.
After the beat, go ahead.
The beat blew you out.
Yeah, that was a curse actually. No, my bad. I'll try to be quick, but this one really surprised me, even though I follow a lot of environmental news, because I wasn't even aware that this is yet another way that these companies are going to completely.
And then he did it again.
Is that a shortcut that you?
It might be. I don't know what's going on right now. Damn.
OMG.
All right.
Don't worry about
cursing.
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah.
It's worse than John's connection.
No, this is cutting edge technology we use.
$6. That's on me. That one's on me. That one's not on Restream. But yeah, it's just scary. I mean, and the thing is, we're gonna be the ones to pay for it, the taxpayers. I mean, because they sue the government. Who's gonna have to pay for that? The taxpayers will. So they'll find any way to screw us, whether it's our health, whether it's our pockets, whether it's anything. These companies will stop at nothing to make sure they get record profits.
So the crazy thing about this article, it talks about a ISDS, investor state dispute settlement. And they were talking about how a Canadian company called a TC Energy company is currently seeking more than $15 billion from the Biden for canceling the Keystone Pipeline. And you know how I would, as president, or who I would want, Nina Turner or whoever would be the progressive challenger, would say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to nationalize oil companies.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we're going to have an executive order.
Oh no, I moved on from that. But we're going to strip we're going to use the profits from the oil companies to pay off the $15 billion to Canada. And I'm saying that tongue in cheek, of course. But I think it's high time that we nationalize the oil company and slowly work them out of the system as we bring.
Yeah, you need to have a president and a government that will actually even care about people enough to even consider that. You know, more than they care about corporations. And just imagine if a smaller country tried to do that.
Yeah, well,
how
they would definitely. The president would have to be bulletproof because you know the CIA coming for you.
Hey, I mean, we know what happened to Iran. That's what happened to Iran.
Yeah. Iran, Venezuela, Chile. Yeah, very.
Yeah. But does anybody know what I was talking about? There was a, you know, it was as kind of as a hedge against China expanding. There was like an agreement that it started during the Obama years that was trying to get pushed to have basically a treaty with different countries, especially in the Asian Pacific, whatever. But it included a lot of things that were pro corporation that had nothing to do with it. Kind of like a lot of like for drugs, you know, a lot of like extra rights for you know, like keeping the patents longer and things like that. And then including lawsuits like this treaty, the investor state dispute settlements, where
about the TPP.
Yeah.
TPP probably had all that stuff in it.
Yeah. So this is you know, so this is something that we've been had. This is an extension of it. So, you know, corporations run the world. That's it.
Oh.
Yep. All right.
Because
the environment and our clean air.
Yeah. All right. Let's go from a sad story to another sad story.
Go.
Texas GOP governor considers challenging 1982 ruling requiring free public education by Julia Connolly, also a Common Dreams. So the legal opinion showing the Supreme Court's right-wing majority is prepared to overturn Roe v. Wade is an invitation to all manner of challenges to deeply rooted precedent, said one critic. And in a radio interview, we know that Governor Abbott was talking about basically using this as an excuse to get rid of the requirement to pay for immigrants for their education. Like they are not citizens, shouldn't be required to pay for it. Now my question is how long before they just try to take it away from everybody? All public schools done. Raph?
Once again, an effort to keep poor, brown, and black people down. It's very simple. Education is the one thing that goes ahead and gives us a shot at doing whatever, no matter where you come from. And now this is coming back. Why? Why is this even a thought? Oh, is it a shock that Abbott's thinking about this? Him and his rotten avocados and blaming everything else he's got going on down there? And I'm telling you, it's scary what's going on right now, but it's been a long time coming and we've seen this, but it's eroding all the rights for all folks, especially those that are traditionally have been kept down, which is women, people of color, and so on and so forth. This is going to go ahead and change. And I have no idea why all of a sudden now all of the most horrible ideas that would affect all of us are coming out. Now it's like next thing you know, it's going to be Jim Crow. Hey, you know, I'm telling you, I don't know where we're going.
Interracial marriage. Yeah.
It's 2022. And if you think it's 1920, next thing you know, oh, well, why are women voting? Oh, this Kamala Harris. Oh, this is some crazy stuff. And I think that there's people that are drinking the Kool-Aid. And this is scary ass stuff. But I don't understand. I mean, this is like bottom of the barrel stuff, right? I mean, it doesn't, I mean, you're telling us that your education system is not the greatest already. And the big problem is that a kid from across the border that just got here with his family is really burdening us. That's why we have schools that are falling apart and books that suck. That it's them that are to blame, not the system, right? Not the idea that all of your kids are not even in a public school. They go to private schools that have a different way of doing things, right? I'm just, as a personal experience, I'm helping raise a baby who's 7 years old. She goes to a nice private school. I've gone to parent-teacher night. When I've gone there, I have seen things that are beautiful. But the thing that really like brings anger to me is the idea that the things that I see there are it's not like they have a rocket ship there, nor the school has a rocket ship. right? There's things being done there in a different way, and the stuff that's being done there is not something that you can't bring to the mainstream. So I think that to public schools. So this is just another effort by these folks, especially Abbott, to go ahead and start blaming, immigrants and other people for how the system sucks. And get ready, because they're going to attack way more. Get ready.
Oh yeah, but you know how it always does. It's either start in Texas, Florida, Georgia, and now Virginia. So one of them started, whatever idea it is, and then the other 4 follow. So Texas is going to be like, oh, let's put that in there. And then Florida is going to be like, oh, cool, let's do that too. Then you go to Georgia. Then you go to Virginia with this governor we have. So they just
so
go in circles.
So this law, the ruling came. It was a 1975 decision because there was a school district that was charging $1,000 per year for children that didn't provide proof of citizenship, and that decision was 5-4. So with the conservatives, like, I don't even like calling them conservative. I don't know what the hell they want to conserve. They want to destroy the country, but it's like with a 6-3 majority right now, they could get rid of this easy if there's a case that gets to the Supreme Court level. So that's fine. But I don't think it's just about keeping us down, keeping poor people down or anything. I think it's more about money, because we have seen how they're trying to push a lot of charter schools, a lot of vouchers, and all of that is to erode the public education. They want to get rid of it because they actually don't think that everybody deserves it. It's
Joy to the World. Real quick, Joy to the World had a good comment that she said, look at how they fund the police versus schools. Their priorities are not clear. Go ahead, Big Pun.
It's exactly what I was going to say next. How much and what did the latest shipment to Ukraine cost? And how many people stood up and said, it's shipping that stuff to people outside of this country that's really messing the schools up. No one did that. Yeah. No one was wondering where that money was coming from. Now it's all of a sudden, again, the immigrant kids are ruining this. No, it's not that, bro. And if it's all about money, we don't worry about when we do damage. We don't care where the money comes from. When we want to do good, all of a sudden we ain't worried about where the money's coming from.
Exactly, 100%. Let me play this video that has to do with what we're talking about right now. Is the perfect time to play this video from my favorite person. I'll speak for myself, Yvette Simpson of the Democratic.
That's your Democratic whisperer.
She is with the DFA right here, of the Democratic and Progressive Organization. Let me play the video real quick.
If Roe is reversed, and Yvette, do you think if Roe is reversed, the court could go further on taking back same-sex marriage? Does this really open that up?
I think they're signaling that, right? Like in the draft opinion, Alito specifically says he's not doing that, right? And he can't, right? Because the question before him is abortion. But he does open up in this question about the due process clause that there are these previously given rights that are not deeply rooted or long held, like interracial marriage, like contraception, like gay marriage, that could be right under the same analysis if the court were to get that question. And so that's another reason that Democrats need to be sounding the alarm, because if you are not a woman and this is not your issue, what is your issue? And they may be coming for you next. We really need to make sure that we understand that in a broad spectrum, particularly the South, this is going to be an opportunity for them to tee that up, because we've already seen it with banning books, Don't Say Gay, and other efforts to, I think, just roll back the clock 50 years. Giving states the ability to do this will make us, I think, more the divided states of America than the United States of America.
And
exactly, Monday.
If you guys, I don't know if anybody has seen the latest episode of Last Week Tonight, where he talks about how, some people like to make the statement, this isn't your grandfather's GOP, like things have gotten so much more extreme. But then he gives all these examples of back in the day, 50 years ago when Roe v. Wade first came out, of all these Republicans at the time talking about how they need to undo this. This is horrible legislation. We need to fight back. We need to fight for the rights of pro-life people. And, he just shows all these examples over the decades where, this has always been your grandfather's GOP. Your grandfather could be reborn right now, and this would look like the exact same GOP to him as it did when he was younger. So, it's a great point that she's making there along those lines.
Yep, 100%. All right,
I said it.
Yeah, man. This man, it pisses me off. There's so much I wanted to say about this thing, but I'm gonna keep it going. Before we already got demonetized, so it probably doesn't matter. But let's move on to another sad case. Amazon fires managers at recently unionized warehouse. But Julia Conley, again, on Common Dreams, this quote: "If you can't fire your recently unionized warehouse staff for unionizing, then I guess you fire the warehouse managers for failing to stop the unionization instead." So, basically, where the JFK8 garnered attention for being the first successful union drive at the company, the managers there, I guess, couldn't stop it. Therefore, the managers got fired by Amazon. So, I don't know. This is obvious retaliation, I would think. But would anything be done about it, Case?
Yeah, I think this was going to John, actually. John.
Right. Well, I mean, we talked about it earlier, right? We talked about it for sure.
Yeah, we talked about it.
When they, they're not doing anything. I think, Amazon spent $4.5 million to hire somebody to just get them not to unionize. So, right. So think about spending $5 million and increase the wages of your employees instead. But no, they spend $5 million to hire a firm to say, hey, consult us on how we could beat this. So it's crazy. But we touch base on it earlier when we say, like, just put it on the contract that says that you do things like this, you will lose your contract, even if it's after awarded. Like, you should not be firing manager because they stop a union, like, because they couldn't stop. Even if they wanted to, they couldn't. Yeah. So that's just crazy. That's just totally retaliation. And Amazon is going to do what Amazon does because they have the Democrat and the Republican in their pocket.
Let me ask this question. I'm curious what you guys think. So we just saw the clip that Chris Small said hundreds of warehouses and even other companies, Walmart companies and Apple companies are starting to look into unionizing. So of course we know that Jeff Bezos and Amazon has all the resources. They have more money than God, pretty much. But do you think that if they all have, and I believe the next step that Chris Smalls is going to do is a conference to then organize all these warehouses. But if all these warehouses hit Amazon at the same time, you think that's going to throw them off? You think they'll be able to organize their union busters? And of course, so 4.3 million was used here. Let's say they multiply that by 100. That's going to be, $400 million that they're going to have to use. Do you think that that's a good strategy for the Amazon labor union to try to hit Amazon at the same time?
I mean, you're talking about the richest company in the world. There's, just like the Democrats, there are no limits to the resources they'll throw at anti-unionization. So I don't think they'd even be fazed by that at all. They'll make anti-union specialists out of people who've never even been anti-union before.
See, that's a good question. Is the infrastructure even there? Like, okay, you can hire one company and then maybe they have, 50 employees. But then once you go 100 warehouses, they're going to have to ramp up their company real quick. Go ahead, Big Pun.
The biggest issue they have is that all of the warehouses and all of the employees have to be on board. In the case where they'll go ahead and they'll be, let's say one of the warehouses says, no, we don't want to do that. I saw how they fired people. We don't want any part of that. We just want to keep our jobs. Then that's when the strategy starts falling apart, because what you see is different locations not acting in the same regard. Everybody's got to be all in and not be afraid, regardless. And the way it looks now, it looks like only the managers are going to lose their jobs. So I mean,
maybe they need a managers union.
But it's hard, man. You see gas going up, you see groceries going up, you see all this other stuff. Then you might be afraid. There's a fear in all this. And that is the thing, that's how they keep the stranglehold on you. They're like, well, you think, all right, well, this guy's got some people around him, but look at what we did to these managers. Keep playing. That's what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So It's sad, but everybody's got to go. It's everybody or nobody, or else it ain't gonna go down.
And that money they spend in consulting, they just a tax write-off. They just say it's a business expense, so they're going to spend as much as they want.
But to your question about the strategy, they definitely should. They got to ride the momentum. Now that they got one, and they can see like, hey, it happened there. Maybe it could happen here. They got to use it. Got to strike with the iron's hot.
It's everybody. Everybody got to go. Everybody's got to do it.
Yeah.
Or else it ain't gonna work. And
so I can't wait to hear from everybody that big call. Get everybody on the same page is very important.
Yeah. And we know that there's gonna be some infiltrators there giving out the secrets. So hopefully they can find a way around all that as well. The sabotagers,
Listen, man.
That's coming. I think Carlito, are we good with the Carlito's rundown?
Yeah, man. That's the last story.
All right. So, I had a no cow zone. We talked about Nina 2024 already. Now, my question to y'all is, and we kind of discussed it. Do you think it would be wise for the GOP to actually try to ban abortion, like at the federal level, if they get back control, all of that stuff? Because it was mentioned to Mitch McConnell recently, and he said that they will look into it. What you guys think?
Well, let me say this. I long ago, I had a thought. It was like, man, they're using this as an excuse to drive people to vote on their side, the whole abortion thing. And I thought, well, if it went away as an issue, I guess maybe they'll start losing. And and in a way, I think it's kind of correct because you see how they're kind of running away from it right now. They're talking more about the leak than the actual, decision. Because like even in Georgia, it's like 70% of women want to keep Roe v. Wade, the precedent there. But then I thought, you know what? They always find another issue to use as a wedge issue. You see what they did with CRT. Then there was the vaccine mandates. They always find something to use to galvanize the haters. So even if it goes away, they'll just find something else.
Listen, I got to tell you right now, they picked the right topic. This is the one topic that's the lead domino. All right. Because everybody on that side, it always seems to lean to that side, regardless of how they really act and or feel. Mm-hmm. And that is the reason why I'm telling you that this is going to be the most dangerous situation. They're going to take advantage of of their slant. They're probably more angry right now because it looks like it might happen anyway, but they're more angry because they found out we were trying to sneak it in.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? It's like, but we know what the story was, right? But again, if you're eroding this freedom, and this is the one that this isn't same-sex marriage, right? This isn't same-sex marriage. That one was a little bit like, okay, we don't like it, but whatever. This one, where they've been pushing, we're really all about life until we have to go destroy other people's lives in other countries. But these kids, all that, they're unborn. And once you're born and you want an education, I don't like you. But before you're born, I really like you. I mean, this confusion about the party has always existed. But this is the one that's the most dangerous because I think that this is the one that they're all lockstep on for the most part.
This has been their playroom. This has been their playbook for the last years, though.
Correct.
Like, this is what they've been back in the backgrounds. Right? They nominated. They stole the judge seat, basically two of them, and nominated two anti-abortion judges. And Democrat, they're like, we can't do anything. We don't hold anything. Then you have Susan Collins, and which one is the other one from Alaska? What's her last name? The Alaska one. Well, I feel like they betray me or something like that. I didn't know they were going to try to do that. Like, come on.
But the question is, once they, all right, we fighting for this since like the 70s. We got it. Are the religious people going to go back to voting Democratic like they used to before this?
I don't know. Listen, it's just like you said, Carlito. I just want to echo your point.
Off the table.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, just like you said, there is no shortage of things that people are fearful of, and the GOP will always pick up on that. They will always harp on that, no matter what. The other thing that I wanted to say too is, like, when have you ever heard of the GOP taking a stance on something that the vast majority of Americans are against, and it ended up being a blowback for them? Like there's nothing that they can take a stance on that their base doesn't support. You literally have I brought this up before on the show. You have kids getting killed in schools all the time, and they still can't implement gun legislation.
Well, kids
So
don't
like
vote.
if that's not enough, no, I know, but their parents do. So you know what I mean? If that's not enough to get people to stop voting for these people, there's just nothing that they can do. They could take a stance against, and that's something that like 90% of the country is for, and they're not gonna suffer for. I don't know how this
I'm a
happens.
little mixed on this because in general, I mean, I agree because I brought it up, but I'm a little bit mixed because the same way that 2016, you have the suburban people voting for Trump but keeping it secret, not saying it because they were embarrassed at first. Now they could come out and let their racist flags fly. But at first they were like, they'll vote for Trump but don't really say anything because they was a little embarrassed for it. There might be women that will vote for Democrats and don't say anything because of this.
Doubt it. They probably just stay home and not vote.
I don't know. Republicans don't do that. That's only
the
Democrats
GOP,
when idiots tell them to stay home.
They don't.
They're masters at the galvanizing around the culture wars, like CRT and all these things that they able to rally up their base to vote on behalf of all these other side issues. So that's their key. Go ahead.
They won't. Yeah, but they won't vote Democrat because they will just Republican will tell them like, oh, they're gonna come back and take your job, or they're gonna come do this, and they're like, oh wait, or oh, they're gonna defund the police, and they're gonna forget about that aspect and be like, oh yeah, I can vote for Democrats. Like, I need to vote for Republicans, and they will vote it. And I think I shared an article, didn't make it to talk. Greg McConnell was literally talking about why they couldn't support, what was it, the child tax credit or something like that. I forgot the article that's on where it talks about, right? He was like, oh, if we support this, we're afraid it's very popular with people and we can't take it back. So if people like it, then we'll lose. So we got to fight. We have to fight against it. And the Democrats are like, yeah, sure, let's not continue it because it's popular.
Yeah. So we at the end of the show, pretty much we got 4 minutes left. My man, the producer, Bendon, got a TikTok clip for us, and then I'm going to end this off on the next big progressive race. We're going to talk about real quick a clip from Henry Collier and Jessica Cisneros. So go ahead, Bendon.
Women need to be educated on their choices, and they have 3 choices. They have a choice to abort, to parent, or to adopt. And adoption is a loving option.
So at the end of the day, you are pro-choice.
No, I'm not. I am pro-life.
And how many children have you adopted?
I have never had the pleasure to adopt them. I believe the women need to be educated on their choices.
Goodness, whoever's making these adoption decisions made the right one with her if she ever did apply.
She didn't apply. She ain't gonna take care of nobody else's kids.
The hypocrisy of it. All right,
Speaking
let me
of
play
which,
this video.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead real quick.
Did you see that? Maybe we could discuss it. But there was the post by Matt Gaetz.
Matt Gaetz? No,
Matt Gaetz. Oh, you haven't seen that?
No. Go ahead.
Yeah, on Twitter, I don't know if he took it down, but basically, he was like, these women that are out here protesting Roe v. Wade, they're going to go back to their mom's basements and eat microwave food because they're overeducated. And you haven't seen that? Oh yeah.
No, I gotta check that one out. I missed that one.
They're overeducated. There's these overeducated women, and I'm like, what? And it was on Twitter. He did it on Twitter, and I was like, holy crap, he's doubling down. He didn't care. And I was
barefoot and pregnant.
And I was like, oh, word. I was, but I thought it was interesting. If you see it, put it up.
Oh, I did not see that one.
All right.
Let's end off with this clip real quick. And then we're going to end the show. Go.
But it's playing primaries in Texas as well, specifically in a runoff. But it's playing out in the primaries in Texas as well, specifically in a runoff just southwest of where I am right now in Texas 28th district. That's just outside of San Antonio, where you have a self-described pro-life Democratic congressman. That's Henry Cuellar. He's represented that district since 2005. He is the only congressional Democrat to vote against the Women's Health Protection Act when that was on the floor last year. He is being challenged by Jessica Cisneros, a progressive, who says Cuellar Cuellar is out of touch with the party. He needs to get on board and be in favor of abortion rights legislation like that and the rest of the party. Cuellar is getting hammered by progressives, and last night he told me they just don't get this district. Here's what he had to say.
Well, the problem is that they, in their own minds, have an idea what a quote a Democrat should be. They want us to vote with the Democratic Party 100% of the time. I don't do that. Now, I do have an 86 voting lifetime record with the Democrats, but I think it's important that we represent the country, our district in Washington, D.C., and not represent the party.
Cuellar's theory of the case here is that his work on border issues, the district stretches all the way down to Laredo, where he is quite well known, his long service to the district, and his powerful position as the only Texas Dem on the Appropriations Committee is what this race will be about, not the abortion rights issue. Obviously, Cisneros and her camp disagrees. They've been fundraising on this issue, brought in big-name surrogates. That runoff coming up in 2 weeks is going to be a fascinating one to watch, Yasmin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got a big race coming up. This is almost on the caliber of Nina Turner race. We'll see if she wins. From what I remember, they had the runoff, right? But there was a third person that was running that was a progressive, and it was like about if she could pick up those votes, she will win. But because I believe there's some bad blood because there was two progressives in the race, you never know what can happen, and progressives love to keep themselves in the mouth. Go ahead, John.
She will win if people come out, and we know that in runoff there's a big drop in people voting in attendance, so it's going to be hard, for people. So if people go to vote, I definitely think she has a great shot. But you see that Pelosi endorsed this guy, the establishment after him. You see Carlitos' boy, Clyburn in there. Dude, I can't stand that guy more. Dude, I don't know who I hate more. Look, hate is a strong word, but I don't know who I hate more, that guy or Mitch McConnell. They both there.
Wow.
What's up, Gamer for Life? Let me show this quick. This they said that he's representing his district, right? This is a blue district. Look, 58%. That he beat the Republican 39%. This is a blue district. So why is he talking about where he says he's like, oh, I'm supporting my district or I'm representing my district? Crazy.
Yeah, but also even aside from that, it's like, are you gonna support what the right thing is or what's gonna get you elected? I mean, these are not leaders. These are just people that are there to funnel money to their donors and then get a cushy job afterwards.
Yeah.
All right. There it is. That's the show. Much love to everybody in the chat. All for nothing. Gamer
really quick, do you know when the runoff is?
That's a good question. No. I don't know. I would have to look it up real quick. But now that you mentioned, to go back to this topic, something that Jessica Cisneros did that's very smart was she asked publicly and sent a letter to the leadership of the Democratic Party, Nancy Pelosi, Clyburn, etc., to say, since this abortion topic has been very coming up to the forefront, she formally asked them to take away their support of Henry Cuellar. So this is basically telling them, hey, put your money where your mouth is about the abortion rights issue. Now, did they change? Not as of right now, as far as I know.
So Pookie Woods thinks it's the 24th. I'm gonna guess, May, but I don't know. Yeah, May 24th.
I know Armani's coming up, I believe, in a couple weeks. So I'm hoping to try to meet up with her campaign and volunteer. That's the next big race, and then I guess this one would be the next one after that. But yeah, a lot of races coming up. Hopefully, we could get some wins under our belt. But I don't know how I feel as a progressive. We got a lot of life from the union win that Chris Smalls had, and then the next week it was a loss. But we got to take the wins where we can and try to get galvanized. All right.
There's the Matt Gaetz thing.
Oh, you got? Is that the Matt Gaetz thing? Is that?
Yeah. Look at his tweet. Read it.
Bring it up, big. All right. How many of the women rallying against overturning Roe are overeducated, underloved millennials whose salary returned from protests to a lonely microwave dinner with their cats and no Bumble matches.
And then watch this. Watch this. Watch this. It's deleted.
Yup, they took it down.
Not they. He took it down.
Right, he took it down. Right.
Bumble
But he had put that up and he got
mad because all those women are too old for him. They're over 18.
Exactly. I was just about to reference. I think PJ Chris said something about how he likes his women with a high school diploma,
or without
a high school diploma. All right, let's put on the music and end the show. Much love to everybody in the chat. Thank you all for coming through. See y'all next week, 8 o'clock at the same time, Monday. Carlito, as we end the show, got anything to go on the way out?
Yo, the Georgia race are getting heated. Republican debates are like haymakers. They're just saying whatever, just throwing punches. It's crazy.
Yeah. Do you have any faith that Warnock could win or come back? Because I know
definitely.
Okay.
I think she still has a chance even against Walker. Walker just destroyed the primary field because he just had name recognition.
Okay. Now,
is he at the debate?
See anything?
He ain't doing any debates because he don't want to speak out loud and
yeah.
Right. CTR.
Now, are you getting any mailers, Carlito, or seeing any ads on TV?
I got mailer from Abrams, and then from some other down ticket races.
Okay, cool. Big pun as you drink your water. I got you.
Absolutely, no worries, man. Thank you for having me. Good show. See you next time, fellas.
See you next time. Bendone. Peace. John.
The Democratic Party's trash.
Jeez.
Is he?
I second that.
Ditto. Yeah. All right. Much love to everybody in the chat. We got the Patreon members. Pedro Hernandez, Nancy Venture, PJ Chris, Akiba Shakita. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming through. PJ Chris, everybody, all for nothing. Much love to everybody. Too many people to name. Thank you all. Adios. See y'all next week. Peace. Oh, Joy to the world. Thanks for coming out for the first time. Have a good one, everybody. Peace.
Could have been anywhere else.
Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.
That's
like and subscribe. Adios.